Genesis chapter 40. And it came to pass after these things that the butler of the king of Egypt and his baker had offended their master, the king of Egypt. And Pharaoh was wroth against two of his officers, against the chief of the butlers and against the chief of the bakers. And they put them in ward in the house of the captain of the guard, into the prison, in the place where Joseph was bound. And the captain of the guard charged Joseph with them, and he served them, and they continued a season in ward. And they dreamed a dream, both of them, each man his dream in one night, each man according to the interpretation of his dream, the butler and the baker of the king of Egypt, which were bound in the prison. And Joseph came in to them in the morning, and looked upon them, and behold, they were sad. And they asked Pharaoh's officers that were with him in the ward of his master's house, saying, Why do you look so sad today? And they said to him, We've dreamed a dream, and there's no interpreter of it. And Joseph said to them, Do not interpretations belong to Yahweh? Tell me them, I ask you. And the chief butler told his dream to Joseph, and said to him, In my dream, behold, a vine was in front of me, and in the vine were 3 branches, and it was as though it budded, and her blossoms shot forth, and the clusters of it brought forth ripe grapes. And Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes, and I pressed them into Pharaoh's cup, and I gave the cup to Pharaoh's hand. And Joseph said to him, This is the interpretation of it. The 3 branches are 3 days. Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up your head, and restore you to your place. And you shall deliver Pharaoh's cup into his hand after the former manner, when you were his butler. But think on me when it shall be well with you, and show kindness, I ask you, to me, and make mention of me to Pharaoh, and bring me out of this house. For indeed I was stolen away out of the land of the Hebrews, and here also have I done nothing that they should put me into the dungeon. When the chief baker saw that the interpretation was good, he said to Joseph, I also was in my dream, and I had 3 white baskets on my head, and in the uppermost basket there was all matter of baked meats for Pharaoh, and the birds did eat them out of the baskets on my head. And Joseph answered and said, This is the interpretation of it. The 3 baskets are 3 days. Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up your head from off of you, and shall hang you on a tree, and the birds shall eat your flesh from off of you. And it came to pass the 3rd day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, that he made a feast to all his servants, and he lifted up the head of the chief butler and of the chief baker among his servants. And he restored the chief butler to his butlership again, and he gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. But he hung the chief baker, as Joseph had interpreted to them. Yet did not the chief butler remember Joseph, but forgot him. End of chapter.